Welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. I am your host, Tori. It has been a beautiful Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed your Sunday thus far. Welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. And with me, I have my special guest, Miss Mary Pinckney. And of course, you guys know that May is mental health awareness. And I actually had to touch bases on it. It's been a really busy month of May. But
Yes.
before we enter June tomorrow, I want to touch bases on mental health because mental health is so important. And I think for the month of June, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say June is men's mental health. I'm not sure. I think it's men's mental health, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
But Miss Mary, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself before we start tackling the subject of mental health.
Hello again. My name is Mary Pinckney. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist for the state of South Carolina. I work with individuals, couples, families, and groups. And some of the specialties I deal with right now is definitely anxiety, grief, depression, and some trauma work as well. And I do a lot of grief work. And when I say grief, I like to special make sure that I mention that we don't just deal with loss of loved ones, even though that's a big part of grief. Loss also, disappointment, betrayal. You know, there's so much that comes in with loss, and I think ending the relationships. Sometimes even grief around losing a job or life transitions. And even in those special moments, where a newlywed may be excited about being a new wife or new husband, but yet there's a part of them they feel like they lost. So even with new moms, the same thing. It's like, I'm excited about motherhood, but yet there's still some grief here because there are some things that I miss. And so there's a lot of grief work that I do in the clients that I see. So that's one of the things that I definitely say about me. I do Christian counseling as well. I'm a coach as well. So I do some coaching and some life and wellness coaching. So if you're out of the state of South Carolina, that may be something that I may be able to assist with. But other than that, I'm only licensed to see clients for therapy in South Carolina.
Okay. And like I was stating, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Why would you say it's important for us to be in tune with our mental health? Because some people don't think that it's a big thing. I myself think it is.
Mhm.
But why do you think that it's so important that we pay attention to our mental health?
Okay, that's a very good question. And one of the things I'll say right now, I think is the simplest way to say it is that mental health is the new wealth. In order to function daily, we need to make sure that our mind is actually in the right place. We need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our well-being, because again, this is how we live our life. This is how we actually do our day-to-day things. And if you're not healthy mentally and emotionally, it begins to impact every area of your life.
Oh man. Let
And
me ask
so,
you this.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt your thought. Go
Well,
ahead. Finish
I
your
was
thought.
just going to say it's simple. It's the way we live. Our
And I was
sleep. Sleep is important. Make sure you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and some people need a little bit more. Making sure you're eating well, because eating also helps you to function properly. So if you're just eating junk, you feel it, right? And again, it's dealing with our total body, our total makeup. And so I think that's a big part of our mental health, because again, if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not taking care of our mind, and our body, our temples, then it begins to affect how we show up daily, not only in our everyday life, but also in our relationships.
okay. And what I was going to ask, I don't know if it gonna make sense, but do you think your mental health pay play a role in I hear the terminology a lot, having emotional intelligence.
Mm. That's a good question. I think sometimes when I think about emotional intelligence, I think about even with the way we handle other people as well, and the way we treat other people as well. So, and actually being able to show empathy, being able to show warmth, being able to show up, and actually sit with other people too that may be going through some things. Those are some of the first things that pop in my head when I heard you say that. And it goes a little bit deeper than that too. But I think going back to your question, I think it's important because again, it can affect how we handle other people and how we feel when, especially when we see somebody else that's emotional, we see somebody else that's maybe having a temper tantrum, things of that nature, or even how we show up. I think it can affect, yeah, affect emotional intelligence as well.
Because I wanted to ask also, what do you say or how do you feel about? Because there are some people that I can be around and I no longer like to be around because they're
Okay.
always angry.
Mm, mm,
When
I can
people are
see that.
angry all the time or the simplest things make them angry, do you feel that they may possibly be dealing with something mental? Because, like, sometimes it can be the simplest things can make a person angry. Even sometimes it could be something as simple as somebody, like you in traffic and
Mhm,
somebody pull out in front of you and it just
mm,
goes
mm,
to the left.
mm. Yeah, you said that. That just reminded me of that movie Unhinged. I'm like, oh my God, scary day. I don't know if you've seen that, but it is ooh, that's a doozy.
Yes.
Yes, I left the movie with a headache. But that's a good question. And I think the thing with anger we have to look at is that anger is considered a secondary emotion. One of the things that we use to describe anger in therapy, well, two things. We use two things. It can be an umbrella emotion or an iceberg. So what you have under that umbrella or under that iceberg are a lot of other emotions that are actually at play, but anger is the easiest to show. And so, what that could look like is someone could be disappointed, someone could be sad, someone could feel rejected, someone could actually feel, betrayed. But yet, the easiest emotion to show would be the anger because the others are more vulnerable. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
Yeah, it does. It
So
does.
again,
It
that's
does.
still affecting a part of our mental health because again, if you're not dealing with the underlying emotions, again, it begins to it's almost as though a person's walking around with their feelings on their sleeves. So it's like
Mhm.
even though somebody else may have hurt them, it's almost as though they're taking it out on everybody else around them.
Yes.
Just like you said in the car, you're riding along, someone pulls out in front of you, and then all of a sudden you're really not mad at the car or the person that pulled out in front of you. It's like this is just one more thing to add on to what I'm already dealing with. Can you see that? That's kind
Yes.
of how that would show up because
Mhm.
again, you're dealing with other things, but yet, the more keeps piling on, it definitely affects how we handle things after that. So our
What is
thoughts, a situation can happen, the cognitive triangle, I'll give this. The situation could happen, it can lead to either our behavior, our thoughts, or our feelings. So our thoughts are how we interpret the situation, which leads to how we feel about it. And so this is where the emotions or the thoughts, I mean, not the thoughts, the emotions or feelings come up at, which is sadness, depressed, anger, what have you. And then the behavior, what we do about it,
right?
generally happens. But it all started from a situation. And again, those things
Wow.
can go, in that triangle, you see that the arrows can go either way. So it means either one of those things can come first. But again, it just shows that our thoughts, our behavior, and our emotions are all connected.
Right.
So if you want to change your behavior, you have to deal with the thoughts and the emotions.
Wow. So, what do you say to someone that may be battling things, having some issues with their mind,
Mm,
but they can appear to be emotionally or mentally unstable,
mm.
but they refuse to get help or seek therapy? What advice would you give to someone that may be battling mentally and emotionally that refuse to get help? Because sometimes
Hmm.
people don't think anything's wrong when there is an imbalance.
Yeah. Now, are you talking about just the regular emotional and mental issues or the chemical imbalance? Which one are you referring to?
The chemical imbalance.
Okay. You can go to doctor. That could be the part of it. Go to your doctor, have a conversation. A lot of times, doctors will medicate, but they also will do a referral. If they see that there's something more going on, they may refer you to a psychiatrist or a therapist. That's one thing. But the other side, I think it's good to have a safe space, a good support network, people that you can trust yourself with, people you feel safe with to talk to. Because again, a part of therapy is having that safety and having a good therapeutic alliance where you can actually sit with someone that you feel safe with to actually share your deepest darkest feelings, emotions, and things of that nature. So a part of that, having a good safe network that you can talk to, at least a good confidant that you can just pour your heart out with. And then even further than that, one of the things that um I like to suggest is journaling. Paper will not judge you. Sometimes you may just need to do a good brain dump or just write until you feel a release, especially when it comes to dealing with the things that are going on inside of you. But again, if there's a chemical imbalance, yeah, medication may be needed, or I would definitely suggest going to your doctor, talking to your doctor, and actually moving from there. And again, sometimes we have to invest in ourselves. I think that's the biggest thing that I like to share, especially being that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. One of the things I would definitely say is advocate for yourself. Advocate. We know how we feel, and we know when we feel off. We can tell a lot of times when something just doesn't feel right, when something's not right. And a lot of times we know when we're getting sick before it even happens. It's like,
Right.
yeah. And so there, we can tell when something's off. And so now I think it's important for us to pay attention to ourselves, pay attention to, how we feel, pay attention to what's going on even in our mind. If our thoughts start to race and things of that nature, it's important for us to actually reach out for help. So that's something I would definitely share. Again, having a good support network is good. Now, there's also books, resources available. Take advantage of it. Podcasts, like Dr. Caroline Leaf for one, deals with a lot of she has a podcast called My Mental Mess. And she has books and resources on switch on the brain, things of that nature when it comes to neuroplasticity. So that way you actually get to learn about brain health and what's happening and how to rewire the brain. So I think that would be an excellent resource. So take advantage of the resources that are available out there. Sometimes you can do your own homework too, but again, I still like to stress, get help if it's
Right.
needed. Yeah.
Right. Because I know for me personally, I love to journaling helps me to release
Hmm.
some things.
Yeah.
And once I release it, I normally, feel better.
Yeah.
But there are some people, like I said, I feel that they may need to seek help,
Hmm.
but they refuse it because they feel as if nothing's wrong. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
Yeah. Now I will say this too, and this is so simple, and a lot of people, two things. I'll add prayer, especially for Christians. Definitely continue to pray. Have people praying for you, and with you as well. But a simple walk, I don't think we pay attention to the benefits of walking as much as we should. And I'm not talking about an exercise walk. I'm talking about just a simple get out in nature walk. Scientifically proven, a 30-minute walk outside 3 times a week helps to lower anxiety and boost moods.
Mm.
And also, walking helps to renew brain cells. It helps to heal traumatic memories because of the bilateral stimulation. And what happens when you're walking, either you, especially if you're doing a fast walk, you're swinging your arms. There's a therapy called EDMR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. I think I got that right. And it's part of what they do is a bilateral stimulation, stimulation, yeah, with the eye movement. Either your eyes are moving from the left to the right, or your hands, when you walk, your hands, move from left to right. One of the reasons is that there's a trauma affects the right side of the brain generally. And so what happens is now logic can't get from the left side. So when the bilateral stimulation happens, it helps to start healing. Now you can get the information from the, especially when it comes to safety, because safety is a big issue, especially in anxiety and trauma. So a lot of times, triggers will happen and we feel as though we're right back there in that moment that it happened. But logically, we need to make sure that we understand that no, I'm not there now. I'm actually here. I'm actually safe. And so that's where grounding comes in at, to bring you back to the moment, to the present. So if you're out in nature walking and then, you're paying attention to, things around you, it helps to stop some of that from happening. So instead of focusing on your thoughts, now you're focusing on, I see trees, green trees, the birds are chirping, I hear the birds, I see the pink flowers, the purple flower. And I'm just naming some things because normally we use the senses. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear. And it doesn't have to be in this order, but use your senses. 3 things you can touch or feel, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste, or 1 emotion you feel. And that's a grounding technique to bring you back to the moment. But doing that in nature, it gives you something else to focus on. So in that moment, you're realizing that, you might start that walk with your mind full of thoughts.
Mhm.
And then by the end of that walk, you realize, you know what? I forgot what I was thinking about because you're so focused on
Right.
your surroundings. So sometimes, like I said, just a simple walk can help to reduce anxious thoughts. But again, there are some things that definitely, therapy is beneficial in treating. But
Mhm.
at least those are some things that you can do on your own too. Because that
Yeah.
becomes a part of your coping mechanisms now.
Okay. Because I know I feel better when I exercise too. It's better.
Mm,
It's hard for me to get up in the morning, but I noticed that when I work out early in the morning or walk early in the morning, it sets the tone for my day as opposed to when I walk in, after I get off work. I gotta get a method of where I can get up early in the
mhm,
morning before I go to head to work to set my tone for the
mhm.
yeah, I noticed the difference.
Yeah,
There's a big
yeah,
difference. But when
yeah.
you're doing it like after you've already had after work in the
Mhm,
evening,
mhm.
it's a struggle. But in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah,
you feel so relaxed or relieved.
yeah,
And it just seems like
yeah,
the it controls the stress sometimes when
yeah.
you
It really does.
exercise and walk in the morning.
Mhm. Yeah. So the release of dopamine, sometimes the serotonin, so those happy chemicals come alive when we
Right.
exercise. I think it's important for us to pay attention to that too. So that's a part of that. Lower stress levels. Yeah. And anxiety, another way of dealing with anxiety is fast movement because it helps to move the energy out of our bodies. So yeah, so that's another way of doing that as well. So yeah, exercise has plenty of benefits. So and again, it doesn't
Okay.
always have to be anything long and drawn out. You don't have to do an hour. You can start with 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So it
I
could be
noticed
like a
that.
20-minute jog, a 15-minute fast walk, some jumping jacks, run in place, jump rope, dancing,
Right.
it's something of that nature. So it doesn't have to be anything structured even, but the fact that you're doing like 15, 20 minutes of, something that helps to get the body moving, Yeah, because again,
Right.
there is that mind body connection. I think we don't pay attention to as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't want to take up too much of your time on a
Hmm.
Sunday, but what other things you like to share as opposed to mental health awareness? Because like I said, I wanted to make sure we said something before the month ended.
Okay.
What other tips or things you need to add in regards to us taking care of our mental health? I know for me, sometimes it's also important for me to have those set aside time for myself. Those
Hmm.
self-care days are
That's good.
very important for me,
That's good.
for my mental health. And sometimes
Hmm.
those of us that work, like, 5 days a week, some work 6 7 days a week,
Hmm.
it's important to take that, use your PTO just to take a mental day.
That's true. That's
You
true.
don't have to do, you don't even have to do anything, but
That's
sometimes
true.
you got to use your PTO just to take a
Hmm.
mental day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good because I don't think we pay attention to the benefits of solitude either. I think if I would share anything else, I think creating boundaries. When you say self care, a lot of people look at going to get nails done, getting feet done, getting a massage, but self care goes so much deeper. That could be that solitude, a day of doing nothing, no social media today, no strolling, no doom scrolling, right? Just sitting there, relaxing, maybe getting some fresh air, reading a good book, being in touch with yourself, making sure you're aware of what's going on in your body, where you're feeling stress at, that could be taking a hot bath, a hot shower, maybe going for that simple walk, maybe connecting with a loved one that makes you feel feel good, something nostalgic. One of the things I did recently, I put on some oldies, and I grew up, I graduated in 92. So New Edition was one of the one of my favorites back in the day in high school. So what I did one day, I was riding along the road, and and it's like all of a sudden it's like, what, I want something different. I want to listen to something different. So I put on New Edition, and those old songs just came back and bringing back, all these memories and just this happiness or what have you. It's like, oh my God, I miss this, but it was something so simple, but it just brightened. It's like, oh my God, this is good, and I find myself just enjoying the moment. But I think again, connecting with loved ones, friends, and things of that nature that help feed you too. I think that's good. Eating healthy, eating a healthy meal, and even though you throw a little treat in there for yourself sometimes, something like that, because again, you're taking care of yourself. And drink your water, hydrate. Make sure water solves a whole lot too. But again, I think it's important to actually now start setting some boundaries around our time to make sure that we're taking care of us, and we're doing what we need to do to replenish, especially after, like you said, at work, pouring out 5 days a week. And depending on what you do, it's important to have some boundaries built in to actually create, a place to refill, replenish. Don't
Right.
be careful of running on E all the time,
Absolutely.
because we give out so much to everybody else, and then we don't take enough time to pour back into us. So this is where saying no comes in at. That's a big part of self-care. Know when you reach your limit and say something. It's like, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't.
Mhm.
Take
Mhm.
naps. Naps are self-care. I'm telling you, take naps. Naps
Definitely.
are self-care. And sometimes that might just be laying across the bed watching a movie one day. Like, you know what? I just want to veg out and watch TV all day. Actually, that studies show that helps lower blood pressure.
Oh,
Doing
wow.
nothing
Yeah.
one day, just doing nothing, and not move, just now again, I said one day, I say every day, because again, you still have to live. You still have to
Yeah.
make sure you're doing the things you need to. But again, it's okay to schedule things like that into your schedule. For me, I love being around water. So like I'm like, okay, I need this Friday. I'm like, I need a beach day. So
Right.
spent half a day at the beach. Toured
Yeah.
went to two beaches and actually walked around, sat by the water, because I felt like I just needed that. And sometimes that's a
Right.
part of self-care. And so getting
Yeah.
that in, yeah, that helps to actually make sure that we're well as well. And on top of
Absolutely.
that, have a good routine for yourself. Doesn't
All
mean that
right.
you have to follow it every day to the letter, but at least have something structured in place so that it can help you kind of make sure that you're paying attention to your mental and physical well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And something else I do for my self-care is sometimes you have to, I know me. This is
Mhm.
something I do for me.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to turn that phone on do not
Yeah.
disturb.
Yeah. 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 I
You
do the
have to
same.
turn the phone on do not
Mhm.
disturb, like,
Yeah.
it's, for a lot of,
Mhm.
block off some times, a
Exactly.
time that you don't take no
Mhm.
calls, you don't answer
Yeah.
texts, you just
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That's
it's so
that's
important.
huge. Yeah. Because again, if you're on all day long
Mhm.
and everybody's beck and call, that can weigh on you.
It does.
So
It
there has
does.
to be some limits set. Yeah,
Mhm.
we have to know what's urgent and what's important. Yeah,
Absolutely. And
and
I
I
also
will.
have a
Mhm.
I was
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I also was
Mhm.
gonna say I have a time limit
Mhm.
on social media as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
If I've spent too much time, because I think I have it set for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. If I
Mhm.
spent an hour, 30 minutes to an hour over on social media, my
Mhm.
social media just cuts off.
Yeah. That's a good plan. That's a very good plan. Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes you
Mhm.
scrolling and you like, oh,
Mhm.
where did time go? And you just scrolling. So I
Exactly.
have it set to
Exactly.
30
And
minutes to an
then
hour, it cuts off.
yeah, and then after that, you wonder where the time went, and then you're complaining that you didn't have time to do other things, right? Yeah. Yeah, we see that happens a lot. Yeah. One other thing I would probably add is find things that you enjoy. I see a lot of people getting into gardening now, a lot of people doing pottery, and that's something I've been trying to, and I love it. I love finding a good trail to walk, a good scenic trail or something like that. But find things you enjoy and start taking part in it. Create. Find a new habit. People love to knit, sew, things of that nature, doing hair, doing makeup, whatever things you do for a hobby, but find something that fulfills you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
Whatever
helps
that
bring
thing
some
is.
joy into your day too. Yeah.
Right. And then, like, back in 2020, we experienced COVID
Mhm. Mhm.
and we had the lockdown, we had so much time on our hands.
Mhm.
And at that
Yeah.
time, there were people discovered talents that they
Mhm.
didn't know that they had.
Exactly.
And some of those
Mhm.
talents that they discovered, like some of those
Mhm.
hobbies they had,
Yeah.
is now making money for them
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just I believe in writing the vision and making it
Mhm.
plain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if there's something that's stressing you, whether it be a situation, anything,
Mhm.
just set some time to yourself to make a plan and
Mhm.
write out a plan
Yeah.
because we can basically dictate with the help of God and seeking God for guidance what
Mhm.
type of life we want to live.
Oh yeah.
And we need to be able to live life to the fullest
Mhm.
instead of just merely existing.
Jesus said that he came to give us life and life more abundantly.
Right,
Mhm.
right,
So at
right,
the end of the day, what are we doing with what he's given us? That's key.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it can be so simple again. It doesn't have to be anything really long and drawn out or really complicated. Sometimes it's just the simple things.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate you coming on your
Yes, ma'am.
Sunday. I definitely wanted us to do
Mhm.
something before and I'm going to see if possibly we can kind of schedule something for the month of June
Okay.
because I know not too many men because I know most time women will seek, we'll get therapy,
Mhm.
but a lot of times men Do not
Some
get
of that is
therapy.
changing. Some of it is changing, and
Yes,
I
you
think
said that.
the a couple of things are happening. For one, we're seeing more men go into the mental health field, which is good because now that they have someone that they can relate to,
Mm-hmm.
talk to as well. Especially on our side when it comes to black men, there are a lot of black males now that are becoming therapists to actually help fill that gap too. So I think it's actually encouraging a lot of them to actually come a little bit more. But then you see some that are in the state where they want to be better for themselves, for their family, for their communities and things of that nature too. So some things are changing, and maybe by that time I'll see if I can find some numbers for us to actually look
Okay.
at to see what's changing now. But a lot of
Okay.
foundations, because of because I just thought about Taraji P Henson. She started the foundation in honor of her dad. I cannot remember the name of it now, but they were offering free mental health support for men. Like one, I think it was during the month of June or certain, at a certain time or what have you. And so, and I think initiatives like that is kind of helping to make it
Oh, that's
available. So
awesome.
yeah, so stuff like that. There are resources out there. There are people that are pushing for it, and I think that's been a part of it. But I've seen several male therapists speaking up and speaking out and actually creating resources for men too. Jay Burnett is one of them. On social
Yes, I
media, you
love
might
Jay
find him,
Barnett.
and he has his
Yeah.
book now on Just Heal Bro. And so
Yes.
that was something too. So actually getting resources out there for men, but I think that's part of it too. Yeah, they're
Okay.
realizing that they can't keep everything in now. And
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of them actually creating groups for each other. Maybe they won't go to therapy, but they will talk to their boys. And so now they're in the space where they're actually paying attention. Somebody in that group is spearheading conversations around mental health or what have you. So they're
Right.
getting an outlet. Yeah, they're checking in on each other. So those are some things that I've seen happen recently. But yeah,
That is
it's important too.
awesome.
Yeah. So
That
we'll
is
we'll
good
look
to
at some
hear.
things. Yeah. I'll see if I can find some numbers for you too. Yeah.
Please do. And also,
Hmm.
if you can find the
Hmm.
information, did you say the organization that Taraji
Oh yeah.
started in honor of it? Please, because I
Hmm.
didn't, I was not aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would love to have more information about that.
It's be something. Let's see. Henson Foundation. Mental health. It's Boris Henson Foundation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Boris
Okay.
Henson Foundation. It's after her, named after her father. But it's in yeah. So
Okay.
there's a
Well, we
website out there for it.
okay, and we'll talk more about it. Because like I said, we'll do something in June.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can possibly get some male guests on that are open
Okay.
to talking
Hmm.
um about their mental health. Um because there was a friend of mine I had I think a couple of years ago that would reach out to me periodically on social media, like was going through a very serious depression, and he ended up I would, I would tell the reach out whenever you can or either call.
Hmm.
And I'm like, even if you can't reach me, reach someone else. But long story short, life got overwhelming.
Mm.
And he ended his life.
Oh
And
wow. Wow. I'm sorry
yeah,
to hear that. Yeah.
yeah. And that was very devastating to me.
Hmm.
So that's why I think it's so
Yeah.
important um for everyone to get their mental health in check. And I think a lot of times men from things that I observe, men that I observe, a
Hmm.
lot of times they don't feel comfortable opening up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they hold a lot of things inside. And
Yeah.
so I think it's important that we talk about these outlets that they do have,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that when they do allow themselves to open up and be vulnerable, that people don't. I've seen cases where too, when they do open up and allow themselves to be vulnerable, it's used against them.
Yeah.
So once that happens, they don't open up
Yes, that
anymore. So
part.
yeah,
Yes. That's
yeah.
so important. And I think to the other side of that, I just want to add a little um perspective there as well. You'd be surprised that there are a lot of women that feel the same way. It's hard for them to
Mhm.
open up too. It's hard for them to be vulnerable. So we're seeing it on both sides in the mental health field.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's not just the men, sometimes it's the women too. But again, it depends too on what they've dealt with
Yes.
and how, like you said, once they open up, how it was handled. Yeah.
Right. That
Yeah.
is very important because I know me. I can.
Hmm.
I'm glad you say that because I'm like that sometimes too. If I
Hmm.
share something, and sometimes you share something with certain people, how
Hmm.
it's handled,
Hmm.
that make you leery of opening up again,
Yeah.
and it makes you just deal with things on your own, just
Yeah.
hold things inside and just,
Exactly. Yeah.
don't be bothered. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That is not only the
That's
men, but
and
the women as well. Because I
that's
have
why.
done it.
Hmm. That's why we stress therapy too, because again, therapists are trained for a
Mhm.
situation like that, and we're liable by law
Mhm.
if we share anything that we're not supposed to. We can be sued.
Right.
So utilize insurance, utilize employee assistance programs. They give free so many sessions a year free, and you can
Mhm.
request more. Some I think have up to 10 to 12 free sessions, depending on the insurance, the company
Mhm.
you work for, or what have you. So that's something that's available. Medicaid, Medicare pays for the therapy services as well, but find out what's available from your insurances and actually utilize it. And you may have to pay a simple copay, and it may not be nearly as much as a therapy session would cost. Your insurance is taking the bulk of that. So at the end of the day, yeah, find someone that you can talk to that your stuff is safe with. And of course,
Right.
we do have some, we have to always give that informed consent. There are certain things that if you do share, as far as actively being hurt or you're actively hurting someone, or in cases where neglect and abandonment are, or those are things, of course, that we have to report as mandated reporters. But other than that, there are some limits to, I mean, there is confidentiality in place. Those are the
Okay.
limits of confidentiality. So again, just wanted to make sure that I share that as well, because again, we can't share everything that's shared with us unless it comes under the mandated reporting
Okay. And that's in
part.
situations where that be example of like if
Harm to
you're hurting,
yourself,
yeah,
mhm,
harming
hurting
yourself and harming
somebody
somebody.
else.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay. That
or
makes
you're
sense.
being actively being harmed.
Yes.
Like if there's domestic abuse in a relationship, actively, like it's happening right now. If there's,
Okay.
sexual assault, sexual, violence or whatever that's happening right now, dealing with you,
Mhm.
then yeah, certain things, yeah, those things, if there's active,
Okay.
yeah, we have to actually abide by what the law says when it comes to
Okay.
mandated reporting. And that's the same thing when it comes to school. Anybody like teachers are mandated reporters, pastors are mandated reporters. There are certain things that we have to actually look at. Yeah, so it's not just therapists, but it's also other leaders as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, anyone else that may be watching and they may want to reach out to you, make sure you
Hmm.
provide your social media handles,
Okay.
email, phone numbers if they want
Okay.
to reach out and get in contact with you,
Hmm.
because I think it's important. Like when you have a therapist, and you always mention that you are a Christian therapist, and that's what a lot of people prefer, a
Hmm.
Christian therapist. But in case someone's watching and they may want to reach out to you, provide your social media handles, email, number, or however you would like to be contacted so they can be able to get in touch with you.
Yes. On Facebook is Total Wellness Therapy Services LLC. On Instagram, I think is um, underscore Total Wellness Therapy. if I remember correctly. You'll see my picture, of course, on both. Also, my website is totalwellnesstherapyservices.com. And phone number is 854-666-0978. Again, 854-666-0978 if you need to contact me by phone. All right.
Okay. Well, it's a
Mhm.
pleasure always having you. And of course, you know you'll be back because I'm gonna be reaching out to you. So you know
Yes,
how many.
ma'am. Well, I enjoyed this time. So thank you for having me.
You're more than
Mhm.
welcome. And
All
thank you
right.
guys out there for watching. And if you missed the beginning, make sure you catch the replay and make sure you share the podcast. And at the end of each podcast, I always tell you guys, whatever you go through in this thing called life, you may bend, but don't you dare break. But always remember to keep the faith. And as we end in this month of May, make sure you also take care of your mental health. It's so important.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. And thank you so much, Miss Mary, for coming on
You're welcome.
once again. You're actually
Thank
gonna
you
be
for
one of
having
my
me.
you're actually gonna be one of my regulars. Just so you
Well, I
know.
appreciate I
Just
appreciate the
so you know.
time. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate that.
You're
All
more
right.
than welcome. Well, you
Mhm.
guys have a great evening. Enjoy the remainder of your Sunday and have a great blessed week ahead, your work week ahead. I hope it's blessed. And make sure you do things in with purpose and allow God to be your guide. You guys be blessed. And we'll talk to you soon. And remember to keep the faith. Peace.